In today's video, we're going to make a classic cocktail that goes back to the 1970s. We're going to make a Harvey Wallbanger. Welcome to Thirsty Thursday. This is the Average Me channel. I'm Mark, and in today's video, we are doing the second half of our collaboration that started last Tuesday. If you did not see Tuesday's video, you don't have to turn this one off and go run over there. But today we're making a Harvey Wallbanger cocktail. And on Tuesday, we made a Harvey Wallbanger cake. And you know what? I don't even know how it turned out because the cake is still in the oven and I'm taking this time to make the cocktail. So it's going to be a surprise for both of us. I don't know how the cocktail is going to turn out. I don't know how the cake turned out. But I'm pretty excited about doing a collaboration with myself. So for the Harvey Wallbanger, we are going to use Galliano. We're going to use vodka. We're going to use orange juice. Now this is just a backup. Hopefully I won't have to crack that open because I have fresh oranges here. I have my squeezer and I really want to try to get fresh orange juice if I can. We only need 4 ounces and I think with 3 oranges here, we can do that. We're going to be mixing this in a Collins glass, and I guess I shouldn't put it there. Won't be able to cut my oranges, will I? And we're going to use ice. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is make sure that I can get enough orange juice here. So as I said, we're going to be needing 4 ounces of preferably fresh squeezed orange juice. I am going to take a little cheat slice here that I'm going to set aside for our garnish. And this does not look like a real juicy orange, so we might be a little disappointed whether or not we can get that much juice out of this orange. But we'll find out. You know, I have a orange grove not too far from my house. Unfortunately, it is not the season right now, and I suspect that's why these oranges are probably not real juicy, because we're probably getting our oranges from far, far away. And in that orange grove, they actually sell oranges that are designated as juice oranges. And I'll tell you what, I squeezed this one down so far I can't even get it out. And it still only gave me 1 ounce of orange juice. 1 ounce of fresh squeezed orange juice. So we may have some trouble. That's almost 2 ounces per orange. So I think we're going to be okay. Ooh, boy, I almost spilled what I had there. It's about 2 ounces, a little less. Actually, before I pour that in there, let's take our Collins glass and make sure that that is filled with ice. So there's our first 2 ounces. And let's see if we can get that 4 ounces with just 2 oranges. So anyway, that orange grove is very, very close to my house. As the crow flies, it's darn near my backyard. But, you know, to drive there, it might take me 5 to 7 minutes. And that's always nice to be able to go there and get the fresh citrus. And when I bought some of those juice oranges, I didn't know what the difference was, and I'll tell you, they were not good eating oranges at all. Let me see if I can get any more out of this. Yeah, there just isn't a lot of juice in these. Well, that's just a little shy as well. So I think what we're going to do is I'm not going to cut that 3rd orange just to get, you know, about a ½ ounce of juice out of it. I think I'm going to push this aside. I don't know if you just saw that, but one of my oranges fell on the floor. And I think I'm going to complete it with the prepackaged juice. And there we go. Boy, that was a lot of work just to get 3.5 ounces of juice. So there is our orange juice. Then we are going to get 1.5 ounces of vodka. There we go, with 1.5 ounces. And I wanted to bring that to the top. And you'll see why in a minute, because I do want to float the Galliano. And it's not going to float if my cocktail is way down there. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. You'll have to forgive me for cheating here. I'm going to put a little more OJ, not much, and just a touch of vodka. It's my show, it's my drink, I can do what I want. But this is where I would really like it to be, because now we are going to try to float 1/2 ounce of the Galliano. So let's get my, and this is kind of thick because it is a liqueur and it's kind of syrupy. So I'm not sure how well this is going to float, but now I've seen this both ways. I've seen this going on the spoon and on the back of the spoon. Usually I do the back of the spoon, but we're going to do it on the spoon and try to guide that float and see how well that works. Well, it seems to be working okay, but the problem is, since it is so similar in color to the OJ, you really can't see the Galliano float, which is quite a disappointment. So we're going to garnish this with a slice of orange and a maraschino cherry. And let's see if we can get that in there. And there we go. And it is a nice looking cocktail, but I'm going to get a quick picture and then we're going to give this a taste and see how we like for the very first time. I've never had a Harvey Wallbanger. We're going to see how we like it. Okay, now I'm going to say I'm a little disappointed in the presentation. Not because it doesn't look good with the orange slice and the cherry, you know, the garnish looks fine, cocktail itself looks fine, but you cannot differentiate the float. And I think that's just a little disappointing when you take a cocktail and you want to make the effort to create the float and you can't. So the other thing that we want to be careful of is all of that alcohol now, the vodka and the Galliano, is up at the top. So I'm going to take my bar spoon and I'm going to give this a little bit of a mix. Now I'm going to tell you a quick story. I don't know what the history is of the Harvey Wallbanger. I know that it was created sometime in the 1950s. It became popular for whatever reason in the 1970s. Now, I don't know why it's called a Harvey Wallbanger, but I do know this. When I was a kid, many of you know that I grew up and I'm from Wisconsin. And the Milwaukee Brewers, when I was a kid, had a manager named Harvey Keene. And I'll tell you what, that team, they were hitters. That was a team that could really hit that ball, knock it out of the park. So they nicknamed them Harvey's Wallbangers because Harvey Keene, and it was his team. So, you know, I've always wondered, of course, when I was a kid, I wasn't, you know, in a position to drink a Harvey Wallbanger. And in the ensuing years, I just never did it before. So I'm really curious what this tastes like. We're going to find out right now.
Oh my.
That's really good. I'm tasting it in different layers of the drink, just to make sure that I'm mixing it up a little bit now, just to make sure I'm getting the full. Well, you know, it's about what you expected. Very, very sweet. It has a lot of orange juice in it, and then that Galliano gives you a little more sweetness. It's kind of syrupy, so it's nice and sweet. The vodka, of course, usually takes on the flavor of anything that it's mixed with. So it doesn't taste real vodka-y. I'm drinking from different layers, and I seem to have gotten it mixed really well. So it's really good. You can taste the sweetness. You can get just a hint of that vanilla from the Galliano. I'm not getting much of the anise. Now, when you smell Galliano, you smell the vanilla, but you really do smell a little bit of that anise, a hint of that anise. So it's not a lot, but maybe, you know, it's hidden in there, and maybe it is adding something more subtle. Yeah, it's a nice cocktail. You know, I always have my tropical look behind me with the palm trees and, you know, the lei and all that. But this is reminiscent of a tiki drink, but I wouldn't call it a tiki drink necessarily. Although it is sweet, it's fruity, it has a citrus. Maybe it's because it doesn't have rum, but it's a good cocktail. And whether or not you're a Milwaukee Brewers fan, I hope you give this one a try. And I don't know if I would have it with a Harvey Wallbanger cake, with a slice of the cake, but I don't know because the cake isn't ready yet. But you know, because you watched Tuesday's video and you know how that cake turned out. Oh, by the way, I've been encouraging people to pop over to my other channel. It's called A Look Back. Sometimes you can't really find it because it gets mixed up with people who name their videos A Look Back at whatever. So I'm gonna link it down below, and I hope you go over there and take a look. It's completely different type of channel. You don't see me on it so much. It's profiles of people and things and events from the past. So I hope you give that a try and tell me how you like it. Leave your comments over there as well. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel.